What makes someone beautiful? What makes someone valuable? What makes someone worthy of being free? What about women stripped down from all dignity? What about created to be daughters of the king, topless in storefronts, their value being tallied by the times their body is bought hourly? What about women strapped down to the backs of vans? The only times they're touched is by buyers and sellers' hands, passing them along like packages. The only times they're kissed is by being tasted upon by savages. What about women whose personalities must be split apart like their legs when someone is done purchasing them? Because I can hear the world whispering, they just don't seem beautiful to me. But what makes someone beautiful? What makes someone valuable? What makes someone worthy of being free? What about the women who were not stolen, but instead were lured into this worldwide phenomenon because they were just to drown in their own securities? They thought it'd be glamorous, but misplaced trust has left them into the hands of slavery. What about the women whose fathers, brothers, and cousins took advantage of them, so now their whole life they're searching for other father figures who love them similarly? What about the women whose mothers would rather live a life of luxury than to protect their daughter's virginity, to save up their daughter's purity, to defend their daughter's chance of ever not hating their sexuality? What about the sons and daughters, the brainwashed people who don't even think it's evil, they genuinely just want to help their family? Because I can hear the children in captivity whispering, I just don't seem valuable to me. But what makes someone beautiful? What makes someone valuable? What makes someone worthy of being free? Because I'm wondering what God sees in the corners of Cambodia, where mothers are hoping they have daughters so that they can sell them and live frivolously. I'm wondering what God sees on the stages of Amsterdam, where if no one wants to purchase them, these employers deem these women unworthy. I'm wondering what God sees when this sick, disgusting sex industry is so watered down, even modern day fashion makes it look cute to dress sleazy. Where more skin is more trendy, where provocative images on teen magazines is what's selling. I'm wondering, when God sees our world in captivity, who does he think is worthy of being free? Who does he think is beautiful? Who does he think is valuable? Who does he think is worthy of being saved from a worthless exterior that Satan has captured and labeled true identity? I'm wondering, was his blood just shed selectively? I'm wondering, was his blood just shed for those who we deem beautiful, who we deem valuable, who we deem worthy of being free? Or when Christ said to love our neighbor, does that also include the prostitute down the street? Does that also include the captured soul, stripped down and destroyed teenagers overseas? Does that also include the victims of the modern day slavery business just blocks from me? Does that mean that they are my neighbor? And since now I know they exist here, that now I have a responsibility? Because underneath all of these stories, no matter how they started, no matter how they ended, underlying is the same lie, the same enemy, creating trash out of what God created for beauty, creating lust out of what God created to be lovely, creating sin out of what God created to represent him perfectly. And the enemy is not just the institution, the enemy is not just the pornographic advertisements, the enemy is not just the misconstrued affection, used and abused, capitalization on confused women. No, the enemy is also the voice inside of us telling us it's all right if we do nothing. But Egypt, your time is done. Your chains have been overcome because Jesus Christ has come to redeem our thinking. For if we had arms like God's and hands like Christ, we'd reach far, we'd take each scar, and we'd never measure the length. We'd never hesitate. We'd never take the time to just think about it and wait. We'd stretch so far, we'd have stretch marks of faith. because some people only know the comfort of their chains. Some people think God only looks like their abusive father's face. Some people don't even know if there's a possibility to be saved because they don't know what we know, that love isn't something you pay for. Lust isn't something you pay for. Sex isn't something you pay for. Sin is something you pay for, and that price has already been paid with the blood of a Savior whose arms stretch so far they stretch through time with limitless, relentless, restoring grace. Who in our world needs to hear that today? Who is your neighbor, beat up and bleeding, ignored and needing on the side of the way? Who is broken in bondage on that side of the world or on this side of our street? Because they are someone beautiful. They are someone valuable. Blood was shed because they were meant to be someone free.